Join us this week on Hidden Heritage as we stop by and visit St. Joseph's Indian School of South Dakota. I was one of the Native American children adopted at birth and removed from the reservation system. As fate would have it, I was raised by two wonderful parents, and I grew up as part of a small white middle-class farming community in southwest Minnesota. The strange twist in my story is that I was never told of my true Lakota heritage. As a young boy, I can still recall the small cards and letters that were always posted above the calendar in the folks' kitchen. They were from a place called St. Joseph Indian School. Well, I never put two and two together back in those days. I was reunited with my biological Lakota family years later after discovering my true Native American heritage. It was then that the cards from St. Joseph's Indian School in the old homestead finally made sense. Though I was never aware of it, my parents were contributing to the well-being of the less fortunate Indian children from the same reservation where I was adopted from. Now, years later, I had the opportunity to visit St. Joseph's Indian School in Chamberlain, South Dakota, only a few miles from the Lower Brule Sioux Indian Reservation.
Father Steve Huffstetter. I'm with the Priest of the Sacred Heart, and I'm the director here of St. Joseph's Indian School in Chamberlain, South Dakota. You can see on the banks of the beautiful Missouri River. Years ago, like in the late 1800s, there was a government boarding school founded here, and it went several years but then closed. And that building was sold to Columbus College. They thought they'd have a college here. And Chamberlain was a small town, and that didn't make it. And the Priests of the Sacred Heart came to work on the Lower Brule Reservation and the Cheyenne River Reservation in 1923. And they wanted to build a Catholic school to help educate the children on those reservations because there wasn't any. And most of them had to go away to boarding schools anyway. And this building, this grounds became available for a very cheap price. And they decided instead of building something on Cheyenne River, they bought the buildings here as they were. And that became St. Joseph's Indian School in 1927. And it's been here since then, and we've changed a lot over the years, even our programs and philosophy. But it's 83 years of a lot of a good tradition. School on campus goes grades 1 through 8, and it always has. So the children may be as young as 6 years old, first grade, when they come here. And then maybe about 20 years ago or so, we decided that a lot of the kids who were graduating from 8th grade were not finishing high school. And so we started to have a small high school program. And right now our high school students live on campus and they go to Chamberlain Public High School. And it's sort of we don't run our own high school, but it's our philosophy that with the support that the kids can get from their family service counselors and their house parents, if they can make it in a mainstream public high school, it'll make that next step that much easier, whether they're going to college or the service or to a job or anything. So this year we're looking to have about, I think, 47 high school students here. And we have about 180 grades 1 through 8 in the school.
The Native American community has been identified as the most forgotten of Americans. Poverty, unemployment, disenfranchised communities, and other difficulties beset these first Americans. St. Joseph's, through this program, reaches out to Native American children and youth.
And then we have an admissions committee that meets a few times a year. And I think they have to have the wisdom of Solomon because we have actually over 100 kids on our waiting list of students who'd like to be here, but we don't always have room. So they try to look at, the first priority is given if you already have brothers or sisters here. So they would be the first ones taken. But after that, they try to say, where's the need, because if a child is in already a good, stable family situation and it's working, then why change that? A lot of times we will say, well, this child doesn't have a lot of support, or their parents are out of the picture. Maybe somebody's having just different struggles with different things. So we say we try to choose a child with more of a need to be in a residential school. And then we have pastoral care. I mentioned some of the religious programs because that sense of spirituality is very important to what we try to give the kids. Just a sense of, that God loves them, that they're worthwhile, and, that they've got a future and they got hope and work for it and believe in themselves. We found that of the kids who graduate 8th grade from here, about 90% finish high school, which is pretty good because, when you go to the state statistics, it's more like 50-60% range overall. We also find that some of our students, nobody else in their family has gone to college, and so it's a foreign concept to them, and they never imagine themselves doing that or seeing the possibility. And so during our high school program, we'll even take the students to colleges to visit and see what a campus is like. There's some of our students now are on summer programs at different colleges to get a taste of, some of them are doing some advanced math and science or in-med or things like that to get them a head start on that and see that they can do that. We play some other schools in sports. We play basketball, football, track, cross country, and volleyball against other teams. But we try to do a lot of intramural sports too. We have a swimming pool that gets a lot of use, especially in the winter when it's cold outside and there's not as much to do. Part of our mission statement, Priests of the Sacred Heart, talks about trying to be builders of respect and unity between different traditions. And I think that's part of what Brule has done too, which I really appreciate. And I just hope that our work at St. Joseph's Indian School helps bring many people together to appreciate one another's culture and realize that there's so much goodness in the world that can make a lot of good things happen.
The Indian boarding schools of the past have overcome many of the trials and tribulations of their early years during America's growing pains. The Indian schools of today have embraced the traditions of Native American culture and bridged them with the educational opportunities of present times. It warmed my heart and comforted my soul to find this school in a good, healthy condition, still providing much-needed opportunity for American Indian children. I know that if Mom and Dad were here, they would be proud. But instead I know they're looking down, watching and smiling, as we finally put closure on this long overdue visit to St. Joseph's Indian School. There's been no shortage of surprises on the Brule journey. Father Steve had one last place he wanted to show us, the chapel on campus. He mentioned that the old pipe organ had not been played in quite some time. Little did he know that I had been church organist in my younger days at St. Mary's in Worthington, Minnesota. I couldn't resist the rare opportunity to fire up the organ of St. Joseph's. What a scene! Who could have imagined? What are the chances? What a journey!